Ladies and gentlemen, remember this: flowers don't compete to bloom, they simply bloom when it's their season. So will you. When we talk about life, one of the greatest misconceptions we often carry is the belief that there is a single timeline, a universal path that everyone must follow. Society teaches us this idea from the very beginning: go to school, graduate at a certain age, get married by a certain age, build a career by a certain age, and retire by another. And because this pattern is so deeply ingrained, the moment we find ourselves straying from it, we begin to feel like something is wrong with us. We start asking, am I behind? Did I miss my chance? Why is everyone else moving faster? But here's the truth: there is no one timeline. There is only your timeline. Every person in this world has a unique journey, shaped by experiences, circumstances, opportunities, and challenges that no one else can replicate. That means your growth, your milestones, and your achievements cannot, and should not, be measured against someone else's. Imagine a garden with many different flowers. The sunflower does not rush to bloom just because the rose has opened. The lily doesn't compare itself to the tulip. Each flower blooms when its season comes, and that timing is perfect for what it is meant to be. Life works the same way for us. When you understand this, you begin to release yourself from the toxic cycle of comparison. And comparison is toxic. It steals your joy, blinds you to your progress, and makes you believe you are less, when in fact you are simply different. Think about it: if you are constantly watching someone else's clock, how can you pay attention to your own? How can you water your own roots, nourish your own growth, and give energy to the life that is meant for you? You can't. You end up running a race that was never designed for you, and in doing so, you lose the beauty of your own path. This is why trusting your unique journey is not just important, it is essential. It is a psychological shift that frees you from the pressure of keeping up and places you back in alignment with your authentic self. It allows you to see delays not as failures, but as preparation. It allows you to see detours not as mistakes, but as lessons. And it allows you to embrace the pace at which your life is unfolding, knowing that every moment has meaning. The reality is, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing out. You are exactly where you are supposed to be right now, gathering the wisdom, strength, and clarity you'll need for what comes next. Life is not a straight line, it is a series of seasons, each with its own timing, each with its own purpose. So, when you look around and see others moving faster, achieving more, or shining brighter, remind yourself, their clock is not your clock. Their journey is not your journey. Your time will come, and when it does, it will be perfect. Second point is, sometimes, we fall into the trap of believing that life is a race with a fixed timeline. By a certain age, we should have graduated. By another age, we should be married. By yet another milestone, we should own a house, or have children, or be at the peak of our careers. Society feeds us these timelines, and often we carry them like invisible weights on our shoulders. But the truth is, there is no universal clock that everyone must obey. Each of us is guided by a rhythm that is uniquely our own. And that rhythm has its own timing. Think about the flowers in a garden. The rose does not bloom at the same time as the sunflower. The tulip doesn't ask the daisy why it has blossomed earlier. Each flower simply honors its season. It doesn't question, it doesn't rush. It trusts the process. In the same way, your opportunities, your growth, your success will unfold when the time is right for you. Not sooner, not later. Exactly when it's meant to. Now, that doesn't mean you sit back and wait passively. Trusting your timing is not an excuse for inaction. It's about understanding that even while you're working hard, preparing yourself, showing up day after day, there are forces at play bigger than you, forces aligning things in ways you cannot yet see. And sometimes, the delay is not a denial, it's protection. It's preparation. It's life shaping you into the person who will be ready to receive what you've been asking for. Psychologists talk about the danger of social comparison. When we constantly measure our progress against others, we not only rob ourselves of joy, we also create unnecessary anxiety. We start believing that we're behind. But behind whom? Behind what? There is no single finish line. The only person you need to measure yourself against is the person you were yesterday. Progress isn't about racing ahead of others, it's about moving forward at a pace that honors your truth. Philosophically, timing reminds us of patience and trust in the unfolding of life. We are not the masters of the universe, we are participants in a larger design. There is wisdom in waiting, just as much as there is wisdom in action. And when you look back at your life, you'll often realize that the things you once thought were late, or delayed, actually came at the perfect time. The job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the move that didn't happen, each of those was clearing space for something greater. So, instead of forcing life to match an artificial timeline, ask yourself, am I aligned with my purpose? Am I moving forward with intention? If the answer is yes, then trust that what's meant for you will not pass you by. Your time is not just coming, it's already on its way. Last point. Of all the lessons that life insists on teaching us, perhaps the most overlooked is the art of trusting ourselves. We live in a world where comparison has become second nature. We look around and see others moving at a pace that feels faster, more accomplished, more certain than our own. Social media amplifies this. Every promotion, every milestone, every celebration of someone else's timeline is placed right in front of us, making it harder to believe that we are enough, that we are on track. And yet, the truth is simple but profound: your pace is your truth. The rhythm of your life is not meant to be measured against anyone else's. Trusting your own timing is not just a matter of patience, it is a matter of faith in yourself. When you choose to honor your personal rhythm, you are making a powerful statement, that you are willing to live in alignment with who you are, not who the world tells you to be. Think about this: every seed has its own season to bloom. You would never ask a rose why it does not blossom in winter, nor would you demand that an oak tree grow at the speed of a bamboo shoot. Nature moves in its own rhythm, and no one questions it. Why then do we question ourselves? Why do we hold ourselves hostage to a clock that was never set for us in the first place? This self-trust requires courage. It requires you to silence the noise of expectation and step into the quiet of your own truth. It asks you to let go of the false urgency that the world projects, the urgency that whispers, "You're falling behind," or "You should have achieved this by now." Those voices are distractions, and if you're not careful, they will lead you away from the very life you are meant to live. Real confidence, the kind that sustains you through uncertainty, comes not from what you achieve but from the trust you place in your own timing. Psychologists call this intrinsic motivation, the drive that comes from within, not from external validation. And philosophers have long taught us that peace of mind is found in living authentically, not in chasing what belongs to others. When you stop measuring your value by external milestones and start grounding yourself in your inner clock, you create space for clarity, creativity, and true fulfillment. The irony is that once you release the pressure to keep up, you often discover that you move further, faster, and with more purpose than ever before. So if you find yourself doubting, If you find yourself wondering whether your time will ever come, remember this: your life is not late. It is not delayed. It is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust that timing, trust yourself, and know that the moments meant for you cannot be taken away or rushed. They will arrive, as sure as the dawn. And let this truth rest deeply within you: comparison steals your peace, but trust in your own time gives you freedom.